You are not ready for this FNAF animation. Between its surreal, terrifying visuals, its dark but realistic take on Springtrap's twisted redemption, and its incredible violence, there has never been a FNAF animation like Scopewad's Family Comes First. This isn't a series or a short VHS tape. It's an hour-long movie, and best of all, it adapts the two games that get the least amount of love from the FNAF animation community: Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator and Ultimate Custom Night, the climax of William Afton's story. Curiously, Springtrap is actually the protagonist of Family Comes First, and while he's certainly not a hero, he begrudgingly assists his former partner Henry Emily and his zombified son Michael Afton in their quest to once and for all free the souls trapped within the robotic husks. To be clear though, Springtrap hasn't changed and become good. Rather, he's become convinced that freeing these souls is the only way for him to get what he really wants. The only way for him to finally die. As the film begins, Springtrap awakens in an abandoned construction site and begins to walk through the woods. It's as if something is calling him to a specific location, and he's not the only one. We see Circus Baby, the animatronic possessed by William Afton's late daughter Elizabeth, lying next to a dumpster in an alleyway. Lefty, the robot designed to lure and entrap the puppet possessed by Charlotte Emily, is also briefly visible. Eventually, Springtrap finds himself in an alleyway with a poster depicting a location he's all too familiar with. The place it all started, Fredbear's Family Diner. As Springtrap makes his way into the alley, he encounters his daughter, Circus Baby, before falling unconscious and finding himself in a surreal, red-tinted location. He begins to speak with a yet unseen figure signified by red-colored text. Remember how I said I lived like most people? I do. What about it? Before I killed my first victim, I had never gone to the theater. And it affected the way you see movies. Is that it? Yes, it was that very night, and I didn't even wash my hands. I expected the film to distract me from what I had done. I couldn't enjoy movies like everyone else ever again. I felt terrible because I couldn't appreciate art the way I should. We cut back to the alleyway. Springtrap is being dragged somewhere before coming to before Circus Baby. Curiously, Circus Baby extends a helping hand to Springtrap, and we witness a bizarre showing of affection between the father and daughter. Your face, it's all broken. Dad, it's been a while. Is it you who's talking, Liz, or is it the machine? It's me. It's always been me. Liz, you are here, all alone again. No one's around, but my friends are here. Your friends. Springtrap peeks around a corner and spots molten Freddy being dragged away by something unseen. Glancing over, he spots Lefty, the animatronic bear who serves as a prison for the puppet. Springtrap seems suspicious of Lefty. He's never seen him before after all, and his appearance reminds him of Freddy Fazbear, the first. We then get an incredible flashback to the FNAF 1 pizzeria, and when we see Afton again, he's no longer Springtrap, but rather simply a man in a spring Bonnie suit. Then, we see one of the coolest scenes in any FNAF animation ever. After the surreal recreation of the Springlock scene, we see Springtrap convulsing and suffering in the back room of the pizzeria. Curiously, Springtrap once again finds himself in the movie theater, and his conversation with the mysterious figure continues. But you didn't feel terrible for what you did, right? No, not really. I didn't really care. I don't really care. I do wonder if things will be different when I leave this room. If you do ever leave this room. Springtrap is awoken by Circus Baby once again in the alley, confused by her father's sudden loss of consciousness. You fell asleep again. Where have you been all this time? I got lost in a forest, and I found this lake. A really big lake. The water was red, and I met this crocodile. A crocodile? Yes, he loved fishing. The hardcore FNAF fans know exactly what's going on here, and it's like, holy shit, it's old man consequences. It's the only thing you can do in that lake, pretty much. How big were the fish? About as big as my dick. They were this big. He had a whole collection of them, fish I'd never seen before. I want to go fishing too. Maybe you'll go fishing with your brothers. Sometime soon. You'll come with us, right? Dad, Charlie wants to know what you'll do now. The scene then cuts to a church, and we witness Springtrap continuing his dialogue with Old Man Consequences. I made that machine so that I could keep her forever. Really? I think you did it to see how far you could get. Are you always going to contradict me? What? Do you want me to lie to you? I haven't heard a good lie in a while. Well, I think that you were a good father and that your creations were quite innovative. Do you really believe that? Believe what? That I was innovative. Returning to the alley once again, I have to admire how absolutely stunning these renders are. Like, wow, these are fantastic. As Springtrap moves through the streets, he passes a movie theater and sees that a film has been made based on his own exploits. Horror in Utah. Apparently, the dark tale of Freddy Fazbear's has become something of a pop culture phenomenon. We cut to Lefty, who continues to stand ominously when suddenly a doorway opens and a mysterious figure beckons at them. A disfigured man, Michael Afton, William's son, twisted and broken by his experience housing Ennard after sister location. When he sees Springtrap, he reacts instantly, stabbing him in the heart. Why won't you die? Why can't we just die? Let go. Do you still think it's my fault? How long has it been? It's been about 30 years. Only 30 years? Feels way longer than that, doesn't it? Henry isn't ready yet. He will wait a few more hours. I've yet to find your brother. I'll find a way. I saw a poster for a show. What's that about? When was it made? Right, the Utah thing. The team behind it is insane. They never got the approval to use the faces of the kids, but they went ahead either way. The show came out. It blew up all over the world. Everyone knows about you. I think they think you're gone for good. What's their story? Am I presumed dead? Is that it? Eventually, it was treated like any work of fiction. Merch in every store. The success led them to build an attraction. That show is the reason you're here, free again. Of course. You don't know what day it is, right? No clue? It'll be September in an hour. I see. Michael leaves as Circus Baby approaches her father once again, and we see the two embracing beneath the power lines. Circus Baby points towards the clouds, which have formed Springtrap's face, and when he turns back to her, she's gone. Springtrap clutches his head like he's in agony, and we see something bizarre reaching out from behind the clouds. Springtrap once again finds himself before the statue, the significance of which is not that apparent to me yet. He once again collapses, and all sorts of weird shit starts to happen. Springtrap briefly awakens in a dark red body of water, which is presumably Old Man Consequence's lake, before finding himself sprawled across the bench outside the church from before. We finally get to see Old Man Consequences, and he's like a cowboy. Also, Springtrap looks very short. It's here we learn that the disgraced founder of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is trying to reunite his fellow undead family members outside the FNAF 6 location, presumably at the behest of Old Man Consequences. However, there's one family member that Springtrap has struggled to reclaim. What a week. Not looking good, are we? I don't know how to bring him in. He's not possessing a physical body. What about the rest? The others are already in, except for Liz. Are the things I'm seeing even real? Perhaps, in some way. Keep being cryptic, and I'll stay here for another 30 years. I've seen similar things happen to plenty of sinners. These things could take the shape of those around them. They could even harm them. Maybe it's that one spirit you couldn't find. No, I would have known. Why is it after me? Dead sinners aren't meant to stay around. You've been on the surface for decades. You may attract entities that aren't meant to be. I'm not sure. What if it's not real? Maybe it isn't. Maybe none of this is. And it's just your dying imagination as you keep rotting inside that room, consumed by your own mind, waiting for one day to get out. I only see it all fall apart. You make it all fall apart. Take your time and think about what to do next. We're outside time and space, after all. Do not expect any redemption. It would seem that while Springtrap has located his daughter Elizabeth in the form of Circus Baby, his eldest son Michael Afton, and even the spirit of Charlotte Emily, now in possession of the puppet who is possessing/imprisoned by Lefty, he's been unable to locate the soul of his youngest son. Apparently, the child no longer possesses a physical body. Then, Springtrap takes a bath. The Theft King channel is all about adorable puppies and kittens. If you don't subscribe to Theft King, you hate adorable puppies and kittens. You don't hate adorable puppies and kittens, do you? While he soaks, however, something begins to make its way into the bathroom. It seems that something is after him, hounding him, and constantly torturing him. Cutting back to the alley in what is presumably the real world, Springtrap sulks on a bench, struggling to maintain his grip on reality. For some reason, Springtrap starts digging through some garbage before approaching an intercom outside the facility. It's here that we're introduced to a new character, William Afton's former partner, the co-founder of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Henry Emily. William, this machine of yours that Mike let in, it only holds 4 spirits. Where is the 5th? Good question. It's out there then. It could be keeping your kid within itself. I suppose it'll come after you. Convincing it would be impossible. Do you still have those old audio tapes? I do. Mike has been using them. Let him use them on me. You'll lose control of your suit. It'll become quite aggressive. I don't care. Very well. Springtrap and Henry seem to make some sort of plan in an attempt to locate a still missing 5th spirit, though the specific details are left vague. As Henry hangs up the intercom, Springtrap finds a circus baby doll buried within the trash. After that crazy, bizarre scene, Springtrap once again approaches his daughter, greeting her with the adorable doll he found in her likeness. It's just for me, right? Yes, for your birthday. Did you see that? Yes. We briefly cut to a shot of the FNAF 1 office before returning to the alleyway. Springtrap once again finds himself in the movie theater, this time with Old Man Consequences standing behind him, and the two continue to discuss the killer's dark past. If you could go back in time, would you change anything? Probably not. I would likely change my methods, but I don't really mind now. Earlier, Springtrap requested that Henry play the sound response tapes for him, knowing that it would cause himself and the other animatronics to lose control. However, Springtrap seems to believe that this will somehow help him locate and capture the final missing spirit. His youngest son, the bite victim, the first one to die. We cut to the interior of the FNAF 6 location where Springtrap, Michael, and Circus Baby stand around the tape recorder. Molten Freddy is also present, as is Lefty. Also Helpy, but he doesn't give a shit because he's gangsta as hell.
I ain't got no friends.
As the lights are cut out and the animatronics are sealed in the simulated pizzeria, Springtrap once again finds himself face to face with the ghostly specter of Fredbear. Springtrap reaches out to the animatronic before he once again finds himself in Old Man Consequence's lake. It came here looking for you. Definitely not a human spirit. Not this one. You should get it out of my lake. Before I lose my temper as well. Springtrap finds himself perched on a beam above something. Then they have an anime battle. Nightmare Fredbear appears from the air vent womb, and then the gross Springtrap attacks regular Springtrap, who kicks him and knocks his head into Nightmare Fredbear's teeth, who bites his head off. Dude, this is like FNAF mixed with Alien. This is amazing. When Springtrap comes to again, he finds himself standing before his double aboard the elevator to Circus Baby's Pizza World. Curiously, his adversary hands him back his hammer. Also, they're in hell. Then, the anime battle continues. What have you done? Awakening in the scooping room, Springtrap finds himself face to face with a most grisly fate. I ate their hearts. I thought it would purify my soul, just for the sake of experimenting. There's one story I haven't told you yet. Back when we still worked at Fredbear's, we had this regular client, a priest that had come with his 2 kids every Friday. Wait, hold up, a priest with kids? Priests don't usually have kids. Kind of part of the deal of being a priest, but okay, sure. Charming guy, always asked for the same toppings. But then, he simply stopped coming. Henry thought something might have happened. I told him he probably found a better restaurant and that we needed to make something new. About a month after, the priest showed up again, all by himself, at sunset. We sat down with him and talked. He seemed pretty cheerful, more than before. Said his wife had grounded his kid. Oh, hold up, his wife? The priest's wife? Dude, what the fuck is going on here? So he chose to come by himself. He didn't order anything. Then he just left. Later that day, Henry and I found out he was killed the week before. By his own wife. We checked the security cameras. There was no one there with us at the table. Henry was really distraught. But I was fascinated. Now that I look back on it, the priest gave me a smile right before he left. A wide, lifeless smile, hardly human, as if he knew what I was going to do. Do you remember the names of his kids? Freddy and Bonnie. Can't remember the priest's name, though. Okay, I love this animation. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and Scopewad really came out of nowhere with one of the best FNAF animations on YouTube, but like, there was no reason to make this guy a priest. It makes no sense and adds nothing. He could have just been a guy. Anyway, we cut back to where it was that Springtrap was riding the elevator to, and he finds himself face to face with the one he's been looking for this entire time. You've been looking for me. Seems like I have you all to myself. Let go of my kid. What would you do if you could go back in time? I'd do it all over again. Dude, Springtrap is so freaking cool. Your rage is rotten. A shame. You've changed for the worse. I know. That was not me. Springtrap finds himself standing before a white soul with tears streaming down its cheeks, as well as a golden one with fiery, vengeful eyes. The spirits that inhabit Golden Freddy, the youngest Afton child, and Cassidy. As was revealed in Ultimate Custom Night, Cassidy had been torturing Springtrap for decades, and we witnessed some of this very torture throughout the film. However, apparently, the spirit has had enough. I recently found out that my parents, they passed away a decade ago. They've been waiting for me. I'm done hating you. It's a nightmare. There is nothing I can take away from you. I haven't told him anything. Do it yourself. As Cassidy departs for the afterlife, the youngest Afton child finally addresses his father. Dad? It's okay. You can go. I'll tell you everything later. I missed you. A lot. I'll be right behind you. Of course, tragically, William is lying to his son. He won't be right behind him because the two of them are destined for very different places. As the soul of his son departs for the afterlife alongside Cassidy's, Springtrap awakens, surrounded by Circus Baby, Michael, and the puppet. Is it done? It's done. He's free. I really caused all of this. You did. Farewell, Father. We see Old Man Consequences leading the souls of the departed away before Springtrap once again finds himself in the theater, watching the very scene we just witnessed. Then, he's back at the lake. William, when was the last time you saw that one priest? I believe it was summer, 79. Was his name Lawrence Hawk? Yes. Was he on this lake? He was. I met him. His wife, she had refused to give birth to their third child. That night, he wounded himself severely while she was asleep. He covered her in his own blood, placing the scissors on her hands. He then died as he laid down next to her. The kids woke up before his wife did, and they saw the whole scene in the morning. I see. It seems likely Henry will never know the truth. How does that make you feel? I remember how I couldn't see how afraid he was that day. I think it does hurt a little. There was never any hope for me, right? Dead men cannot ever be redeemed. However, I think it'd be the same outcome if you were alive. I suppose it's how it's always been. An evil like yours is hard to find, William. It's been interesting. I am grateful for that. May you rot in the fiery pits, William Afton. As William walks down the staircase to hell, he encounters a spring Bonnie suit who seems displeased with these developments. Go back up those stairs. We had a deal. And the deal would come to an end if I lose interest. I have no use for you anymore. You got soft. Say it to my face. Springtrap dumps the infamous FNAF 4 box into the abyss, and we see it emerge from Old Man Consequence's lake. What is it? Something he'd consider a gift. What we did is seen as an everyday thing. Now we've just become a character. So that's it? Is that how it ends? Seems like it. This is no longer special to me. William Afton finally descends into hell, resigned to his fate to burn for eternity. What is it that he didn't tell me?
Troubles away. Hey, hey, we're turning up the music, we're having a ball. This band keeps rocking forever and ever.